Hey guys, and welcome back to Runway from the Rav, a Project Runway podcast. So I'm Riley.
And I'm Maggie.
And today we're going to be discussing Season 15, Episode 4, which was Sink or Swim. And so the challenge this week was to create first your own pattern that you digitally create on a computer, and then they'd print it out to become a textile. Mm-hmm. And then it was also a swimsuit challenge and a cover-up, swimsuit and cover-up, and... It was also Heidi Klum's swimwear line collection as well. So Heidi was going to be in the workroom judging some of your stuff early, and she also, if you were the winning design, it would be sold in her collection, Heidi Klum Swim.
Mm-hmm. Triple whammy.
Yes, so it's an action-packed episode. A lot going on. They're just throwing a lot of like the themed episodes really early. Like having the unconventional already, the quote-unquote real woman challenge already, and now the Heidi Klum, the swimwear, and the create your own textile.
Yep.
Although that was a little funny. Create your own textile and then use like tiny triangles for a bikini out of it. Like, because most of them didn't make bikinis. Anyway.
Right.
So, in the workroom this week, any big standouts for you?
No. Honestly, no.
There wasn't a lot of, like, designer on designer drama this week, like we've seen with, like, Cornelius in the past and stuff. But Cornelius was still having some drama of his own because he's never created swimwear. Yep. He admitted that he doesn't know how swimwear fits a woman's body. He said that to his model out loud. He's like, I just don't know how it fits down there. So he just has no idea. And he seemed really, really stressed about it, in that he was just like, I don't want to do this. I thought for a while that he was going to, like, just quit or just make nothing, because he was like, I don't want to do this. I can't do this. So I was like, okay, what's going on here? But otherwise, a few other people said, like, I think Tasha and a couple others admitted they had never made swimwear before, and then a few people like Roberry said that they had made swimwear. So, and then a lot of them are from areas you probably wouldn't wear swimsuit too often.
Yeah. But
then that's where you have a really cool cover-up, I guess. Like, so if you're not good at swimsuits, or you're not comfortable with that, then just make a killer cover-up that you want in there, because there's plenty of women out there who just wear their cover-up the whole time. They never actually get in the water. They're at the pool or they're at the beach, but they're not going to get in. Maybe they'll get their feet wet, but they're going to, like, just be looking good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there wasn't a ton of drama. We did learn it was Swatch's birthday.
That's right.
At Mood, the little dog at Mood, it was his birthday back whenever they filmed this. I'm not sure, like, the timing of the show. But yeah, nobody really had, like, a complete meltdown. There was a couple looks that when Heidi came through with Tim, she really didn't like. The biggest one, probably Jenny.
Yeah.
And we'll get into, like, the textiles they made and everything when we get to the runway. But they really didn't like Jenny's. Hers was, like, this purple, lilac-y pink color with a really odd... She called it mandala pattern, but it was very youthful, let's say. And she didn't really make any changes from the time Heidi first saw it till the runway, but that was a big one. She actually, like, put the bottoms on, looked in the mirror, like Heidi pulled it up over her pants. It was like, this is bad. Who wears this? And that's why I love Heidi in the worker. That's why I like the Heidi episode, because she just doesn't pull any punches, and she just kind of, like, livens it up. Because obviously Tim has really good feedback, but he's also very, like, metered about it. Like, he's quiet and subdued, and Heidi will just be like, I love it or I hate it. This is old. Like, a lot of things she thought were old this time. Like, she was looking at she really didn't like Tasha's pattern. She thought it looked like chopsticks. She's like, did you have Chinese for lunch? So she didn't like that. And someone else said it looked Japanese, when she was going for a Rasta vibe. Yeah. But otherwise, we did get some different designer talking heads this time. We got a lot more from Tasha, who we haven't heard from since episode 1. And you and I like Tasha. She's got I love her personality, and I just love some of the things she says. Like, I just love it. So we got to see her and learn more about her background. I feel like we also saw a little bit more of Brick, and we haven't seen anything from Brick since he was in the bottom. But he made a brick pattern.
Yes,
he
did.
He's like, I am Brick. I like bricks. I made Brick. Hilarious. Oh, Brick. We also got to see more of Sarah and Jenny, I feel, than we have, like, especially Sarah. We never see Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah just never around, so she was actually on it this time, as was Rick and Alex. We got much less, like, Dexter and Aaron this time around, and they've really been, like, the voices of the season so far. We got much less of them, no Laurence at all, and we still haven't heard anything really from Natalia. She'll occasionally make a comment about what Cornelius is doing, but really, we haven't gotten a chance to, like, see her really at all, and Robert just gets, like, random one-off things in his adorable accent. So... Yeah. Let's get to the runway, then, since there wasn't really any big, like, meltdowns or anything. No cool, like, black lights this time.
No.
So, first down the runway this time was Rick, and he made a black and white, kind of like, it was very graphic, but it was kind of like, I don't know, like, curved squares, kind of. They kept calling it Harlequin-type pattern. And he made a one-piece, and then his cover-up was actually just, like, these, like, a belted pant that kind of like snapped on and off, so it didn't actually cover the top of you, it just turned it into more like a jumpsuit looking thing. All out of that same pattern that he designed. Yeah. I really liked this one. What did you think?
Yeah, I liked it too. I liked the cover-up idea. How we still use the top part of it.
Right.
And then put pants, well, jumpsuity type pants over it. I don't know. I thought it was nice. Yeah,
this is the second time that Rick, for me, has really made something I really liked, and I was glad this time that... Like, yeah, he did it. Because last week I was worried. I was like, oh man, I liked this guy's stuff. What's he making? This lace-up denim outfit. But this time it was much better. And he was chosen for critique in the top. Yep. And next we had Erin. And she was safe this week. She had immunity. And she made kind of this like red and pink, like almost like plaid pattern. And she paired that with like a skirt out of the same fabric.
Cannot picture this one.
This one didn't stand out as much as Aaron's normally does. It was much more wearable.
Okay.
But from far away it looked like a reddish pink plaid, and we never really got to see it up close. But
yeah, she was just safe this week.
Yeah, she was just safe, which I think hasn't been common for her. For 4 episodes, she's already won twice, so. But she was safe, and yeah, I don't remember it particularly either, and that's odd for an Aaron garment, but she did admit earlier, I think it was to Sarah or Jenny, that she was going to try to play it safe. Like, she's been winning a little too much, so she wants to, like, pull back and be safe for a while. Just to last maybe a little longer.
Yep.
So next up we had Cornelius, and he had this, like, white fabric with it. He said it was stars that he, like, blew out in, like, black and, like, green and pink, and then, like, paint splatter. To me, this looked like the pattern on a diaper. And then he made, like, a high-waisted white bikini with a black, like, skirt thing. And to me, I could not get over the pattern.
This is another one that I honestly do not recall at all.
It was very boring. His pattern just looked like this collection of, like, 6 dots, but they were, like, kind of blown out and, like, mostly, like, black paint splatter. And it just, I don't know, and it was, like, just really repetitive because it wasn't, like, a true pattern. It was just, like, these, I wasn't a fan. I was surprised because he was not chosen for critique. He wasn't in the top or the bottom. Yep. And I just thought it looked like the pattern. I don't know. I get that he struggled with swimsuits, but he never said anything about struggling with creating a pattern. And to me, that was... And then his bathing suit was just, like, a high-waisted bikini. And that's just not really Heidi Klum style. Nope. The high-waisted stuff. She likes to show skin. And then his skirt was just kind of a throwaway.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So next up we have Natalia, and her print looked floral from far away. It was like purple, pink, and like green. And then she made a 2-piece. Our first 2-piece, I think that came... Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't. Cornelius's was too. And then she made like a cape that went with it. What do you think about this one?
This one, I really liked the pattern that she had. I thought I really liked the colors that she chose. It was like I don't know what kind of purpley pink you'd want to call that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a cool color, and I don't know.
It felt very fresh.
Yeah, and I felt like that could go with Heidi's line. I mean, I guess I haven't seen it, but...
You didn't read the dossier.
No, I didn't.
Alex told us about the dossier. I was like, say dossier one more time. Yeah, I thought it felt very her, just of some of the things she's made, where it's like kind of sporty, a little vibrant, but like nothing that's really, really pushing the boundaries.
No, but
either.
At least it was something different from her this week.
Yeah, it was. I didn't hate it, and it really did look like floral from far away. I'm not sure what it actually was, because she seemed surprised it looked like floral too.
Yeah.
But it was It was cool. So next up we had Brick, who made a brick pattern using like red and pink squares or rectangles. He made a 2-piece with like a jacket almost, like a jacket shawl.
And it was like striped with not exactly primary colors. What was those, like blue, yellow, red, orange maybe? Or am I remembering this wrong?
I don't remember the jacket so much, but his bikini was very sporty. It had like little boy shorts, and it was kind of strappy. I was actually kind of impressed because I really thought he was going to go home after those weird pant outfits he'd made, but the swimsuit was fine, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, it was safe.
Yeah, nothing that's really going to blow your minds, but safe little bikini. Next up we had Jenny, and she made like this like lilac, like pinky purple 2-piece, very sporty on top. And her pattern was like this like purple pink mandala with like these like petal shapes, like flower petals, and I think that's what killed her.
Yeah.
Those petal shapes mixed with this really light lilac that almost read like pink was just so like junior set, like a 9-year-old girl's like bedroom blanket set. Like that's what the pattern looked like to me. And then she paired it with like this breakaway skirt, but it only broke away like this front panel, which was an odd choice.
It was.
Rick. Wow. So Rick's like broke away completely and were just like this own little separate thing it looked like pants. But Jenny's, you just broke out the front panel kind of like like a loincloth. You just ripped that part off. And then it was just like this kind of, I guess it was supposed to be then look like a gown, but with this, and then her bottoms were really strappy and had all these little fine details on the bottom of her 2-piece swimsuit. This I didn't hate it. I feel like if she had a different color, she would have been much more successful. If her pattern had been a bolder purple or like a black or even a white, I don't think she would have been as critiqued by Heidi. I think it was just the color mixed with that pattern, mixed with kind of the odd dichotomy of like sporty mixed with oddly strappy, weird tearaway loincloth dress. But what did you think?
Yeah, I felt the same. I think it was the colors that really killed her. If she tried something else, I don't know. Just something like we had discussed earlier. Outside the podcast, like what if she'd done it in black?
Right.
That would have been a totally different feel.
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting to see how that potentially could have gone. But I don't know. I mean, I'm with you again. I didn't think it was that horrible.
No. Because she was chosen for critique and she was in the bottom. And she was in the bottom too. Like they really, really tore her apart for it. But yeah, I feel like and she didn't seem happy with her pattern, which it got printed. Like, everybody was like, oh, mine turned out so great, it looks so nice. And she's like, I got gypped. She's like, mine's way too light, I don't like it. But those are things you have to think about and then she bought fabric at Mood that matched it identical. Like, she bought more lilac fabric, and it was like, I feel like if she had made this piece in a bold color, like black or white, or even just a bright red, yellow again, that was all just one, and it would just have read more mature and not like this weird mix of like 9-year-old girl mixed with 90-year-old grandma with like their stripper loincloth. Like I didn't think it was a complete fail, but it definitely, the color threw me. And obviously I did the judges as well. She stood by it though. She didn't really change it after Heidi's initial critique in the workroom. She stood by it, but you could see her resolve on the runway as each person's getting critiqued. Her face just kept being like, oh no. Like, but she stood by her guns. I'll give her that. Because she didn't really have a lot of time to make something else. So next up we had Laurence, and she made this white 1-piece that had like, her pattern was like, I think it was red, orange, and green, like circles. It
was like a bullseye kind of.
Yeah, like a bullseye kind of pattern on the white. And she made this 1-piece with like this, I liked the hooded jacket.
Yeah.
She paired it with like this little, or like hooded like pullover thing that had like a lined hood and then these little tassels. But when you took it off, the swimsuit was just nothing. Like, it was weird.
No. Yeah, I didn't love the swimsuit.
No. I liked the cover up and that whole reveal. I didn't like the pattern. I think if she'd had a different fabric choice, if this wasn't also the pattern challenge, it may have been different. Yeah. For her as well. But she was just safe. Next up we had Alex. who made this blue and white floral one piece. And then his cover-up was like a ruched, like blue and white dress. And it was cool because his pattern, he based off a tattoo on his arm. So I thought that was, they mentioned that a couple times. I was like, that's kind of cool. Like everybody else's pattern, other than Brick's, kind of came out of nowhere. Like they were just like, oh, I just made a cool pattern. And Brick made his because he loves Brick. I love Lamp. I love Brick. And then Alex made his based off his tattoo. And I think that added some success. And then having Heidi and Tim know that, like in the workroom, I think really, like, Heidi really liked that. And his piece, again, he made a one piece and then with a dress. What'd you think of this one?
This one, I think, might have been my favorite.
Okay.
I like the cover-up. This cover-up was the best for me. Like, it looked, I think the guest judge made a comment that he likes to go places after swimming, and, like, this would be a cover-up that his sisters could wear, and it would, it would totally pass as, like, a normal outfit that you could go out in public with.
Right.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it. I thought it was a great cover-up. And then, the swimsuit was nice, too.
Yeah, it had some nice, like, kind of details and shape to it. And he set out at the very beginning to make a swimsuit and a cover-up that, like, anybody could wear. And of all the cover-ups we saw, this was the one that I could see most people wearing. It was just kind of like this, like, slouchy, kind of easy, like, dress, almost like maxi length, kind of, that I was like, anybody could throw that on, swimming or not, of various ages, weights, height, so that would probably be, I think he nailed it. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, anybody could wear this, and then they put down, like, something completely random and weird. But the judges liked his, too. He was chosen for critique on the top. Next up, we had Tasha, our girl Tasha, who I was scared this week for her.
Yeah.
Because she also admitted, like Cornelia said, she'd never made a swimsuit before. And she designed this pattern that had a yellow background, and then had, like, Rastafarian colors. But she made it like this abstract, like, green and red circles with these big black, like, lines. And I think that's why they got, like Chinese and Japanese restaurant vibes. Because it kind of looked like chopsticks mixed with, like, vegetables.
Yeah.
Or something, like, on a menu, I think is what Nina said. And she made this teeny, 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 tiny bikini out of it. Like, the tiny triangle-style bikini with a teeny, tiny bottom. She struggled with it quite a bit. She had to remake the bottoms at least after Heidi and Tim came through. And then she had like this black like robe type shawl. Like a real lightweight, like little black like throw over that didn't close or anything. And it just, Tasha.
Yeah. It was not great. I hated how small it was.
Yeah.
They were just these really flimsy little triangles.
Yeah. Well, she had a small model who had a small bust, and it still somehow made her look squished in and uncomfortable. And I don't think Tasha's had a lot of experience with bikinis, maybe either, of knowing how they fit and how they look, and it just kind of showed.
Yeah.
And I liked the yellow part, but her pattern, I agree, I didn't really get it. But at least she had some color, because quite a few people all went more like the warm kind of, or like reds and stuff. So I did like that. But she was chosen for critique in the bottom.
Yep.
Then we had Ma Jing, who for some reason made a denim swimsuit. Denim, as most people know, when it gets wet, like chafes really bad. And like sticks to your skin, like if you're like out in the rain in jeans. So I can't imagine a swimsuit. Now he claimed that his girl would not be in the water. She'd just be looking good on the side of the pool. But his pattern was like this red flame kind of pattern. Then he paired it with a red denim for a bikini, and then he had like just another kind of like throwaway shawl type thing. What'd you think?
I didn't hate it. I thought it looked pretty put together to me. I was really tired when I watched this. But like, I just wrote down red and fiery. So I really didn't take descriptive notes today.
Right.
What did you think?
It looked better than I expected, but knowing the materiality of it, I just had to be like, dude, denim, really?
Not even Keeney would do that.
Yeah, not even Keeney would make a denim swim. Actually, maybe he did. Did he?
I don't know.
They had a swimsuit challenge. I don't know. Keeney was our other. There's always a denim person. Yeah. Every season, there's somebody who's like, I love denim. And then this, I think, was our first challenge where nobody used neoprene.
Right. Yes,
Like,
I think
everybody
you're right.
loves neoprene, and then the actual, like, water-based challenge, which neoprene was designed for, no one used neoprene.
Yep.
Granted, it's heavy, you know, and maybe to mix with your pattern fabric, because I'm not sure, I'm guessing that was just, like, cotton or polyester or something that they
Yeah.
printed it on.
I don't know.
But yeah, there's always a denim person, and then there's always a neoprene. But not this time. So next up, we had Dexter, and he made this bright green snake print, and then in the middle of it was a bright yellow snake eye, which he originally had in the center of the top of his swimsuit. And he made a bikini with a shawl as well that used a different snake pattern. I'll get to that in a minute. But the snake eye was like right in the middle, and Heidi was like, no, like, you can't do that. So he turned it down to just, and when it actually came down the runway, I was shocked because I hated his pattern. I just was like, what are you doing? It's too much. But it was like snake pattern. And then it was like kind of strappy and cool up at the top and the bottom. And then he had like this little like jacket shawl that was super lightweight that was made with like panels of black and then like this different fabric that had like, it was white with like black snakes on it. So it wasn't matchy, but it just had the feel like this is like a cool like serpentine lady. Like, I don't know. What do you think?
This one I thought was going to be in the top, actually. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was the most interesting swimsuit design.
Yeah, I've never seen a snake print without actually being like snake skin, you know?
Right.
And I think it had the biggest transformation from like what we saw initially in the workroom. I was like worried for him. But then when it came out on the runway, I was like, I actually kind of like it. How'd you make me like lime green snakeskin? But Dexter, man.
I know. It was really cool. I liked it.
Yeah, but he was just safe.
Yep.
So next up we had Sarah, who she created her pattern this was the swimsuit challenge. Women's swimsuits.
Yeah.
For her pattern, she decided to take drawings of women wearing swimsuits, 2 different colors, and turn it into like stripes on a white fabric background. And she made a bikini out of that. And then she paired it with like a little shawl that was like white, blue, and like purple or something.
Yeah,
like a very
purplish pink
pastel-y.
or
Yeah, or
something.
like, yeah. Really pastel-y, like little cape shawl. But to me, I was just like, wow. So we had snakeskin, we had Chinese menu, we had bricks, we had floral, and then we had the swimsuit with swimsuits on it. I hated. I hated everything about it.
I liked what Zach said. He was like, I'm all about a novelty print.
Right.
Like, I like that idea, but yeah, oh my gosh.
I think if it was smaller, it may have worked better, but like on the
They were so
bottoms,
big.
she only had room for like 4 ladies across so it just made it. And then a white swimsuit is sometimes hard to pull off anyway. And her model, I just kind of felt bad because it looked diapery on the bottom to me.
Yeah.
And then the shawl just was like nothing. It looked like a beach towel.
Right.
Like made of like really light fabric. But she was chosen for critique on the bottom.
Yep.
And then lastly on the runway we had Roberi. And he created a pattern on a black background with feathers that he said were based off the macaw. Scarlet macaw bird, because he's from Central America, South America. And his feathers were, I think, blue, yellow, and red. Quite scaled up again, quite big feathers.
Yeah.
But not huge. Like Nina wanted them bigger. I think they would have been better, either slightly smaller or very big. I think and it's hard to tell when you're working on a screen what they'll probably turn out as, but it kind of made a cool look. And then he paired this with a really cool, again, a more unique cover-up that was like this red cape, but it was like brought in. I don't know. It was just this really cool shaped jacket, and it was like this really, like, I don't know, not brick red, but I don't know, just this orangey red. It was neat.
This one was, I think, maybe one of my favorite, if not my favorite, of the actual like textile designs. What's the other one I liked? It doesn't matter. But I like the feathers too.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Well, and I like that he was able to pull on where he's originally from. And he's like, I've made swimsuits. I've come from a culture where it's hot and we're in swimsuits all the time. So that was kind of nice because most of the swimsuit challenges and Project Runway, like, nobody's ever made a swimsuit before. And it's like, you're going on Project Runway. You think, I don't know, I guess I'd be mentally preparing myself. So I'd be trying to sew things in a day and, like, making weird things, like, for, like, a few months leading up to it, just to be like, I know I'm going to have to make menswear, or there's a high chance I'll have to make something to fit larger people, or something that's swimwear related, or, just to push yourself out of your comfort zone before you even get to the runway. But, I don't know, I'm maybe an over-preparer. But at least he was like, I'm comfortable making swimsuits. And his swimsuit was a one-piece, but it was cut really cool. It had, like, a bias, like, on the sides, like, it was cut away. So it was kind of like, it almost looked like a two-piece just connected down the middle. And then I just loved his cover-up. I thought that was so unique. Him and Alex just had, like, really unique cover-ups, whereas most other people just did, like, this flowy, like, shawl thing to get your shoulders out of the sun. But then, like, I think it was Rick, Alex, and Roberry really had really, like, unique kind of cover-ups. And Roberry was chosen for critique in the top.
Yep.
So our top 3 were Rick, Alex, and Roberry. And then it was decided that the top 2 was between Rick and Alex. And Rick ended up winning this time. So do you agree with that?
I don't know. I would have gone with Alex.
Okay,
Alex was my favorite. I just thought his cover-up was better than just the overall look. But, I don't know. I mean, I'm not upset that Rick won. His was good, too. And that was, like, a total comeback.
Yeah, after last week. Yeah, because he almost went home last week. Rick's was my favorite this time. I don't know. I've been liking his style. Black and white, that's me. I agree, though. I think it could have gone either way. I was actually surprised they didn't choose Alex after his, like, constant talk about the dossier and how he, like, matched it to other things in her portfolio, which is very clever. And he's slightly older. He's a teacher. Like, that's what you do. Like, if you want a client to work with you, you kind of make it look like them, but still you. Yeah. And then I just liked Rick's as well, and also because I feel like that would look good on a variety of eye types. Maybe not the cover-up part, like the breakaway pants. Maybe not for everybody, but, like, a one-piece that's cut with those little squares is going to make anybody look like a good type of shapely. So maybe that's what they were looking at, too, in terms of, like, Heidi's perspective of, like, what's the easiest one to recreate. Because we didn't get a good look at Alex's swimsuit, really. We got a lot, like, on the runway, they just kind of left it as a cover-up. So, but it was white and blue with, like, blue piping. It was nice. Yeah. So Rick won, and he'll have immunity next time. So then our bottom 3 were Jenny, Tasha, and Sarah. And the bottom 2 ended up being Jenny and Sarah, which I was surprised because, honestly, I think Tasha's this time was definitely worse than Jenny's. Yeah. Like, at least Jenny's looked finished. It fit her model very well. Okay, you don't like the color, but she had some ideas there. Tasha really made a failed bikini. And I like Tasha. I like her a lot. I want her to stay. But this was just complete. It was just a complete miss. It didn't fit her right. It didn't look very good. It didn't have a lot of components. At least Jenny's like, okay, it's an ugly color, but at least it has a lot going on that looks well constructed. Right. And then Sarah, everything she's made up to this point looked like Sears catalog stuff. And so did this, only it would be like in the junior section for 3-year-old swimsuits. Yes. With that pattern, it was just so juvenile in the size. If it was smaller, maybe. If it was really big and, like, just this really big, cool graphic thing, kind of like the emoji dress, like last episode, at least it's, like, big graphic in your face, but this was just kind of whatever. And it ended up Sarah went home. Yep. So
I'm not mad about it.
No, I was like, this is actually probably the perfect time for Sarah to go home because it was obvious from the other things she'd created that she was not probably long for this competition. Right. But then also it gives a chance for Tasha and Jenny, who at least had some ideas there, like, and have made things in the past. Like, Tasha's first outfit was super cool. Jenny's jacket last week was really cool with the hand detailing. So it's like, they missed it on the swimsuit one, but swimsuit's not, like, their strength. It's not even, like, a big fashion part of, like, Project Runway. So it's like, hopefully next week they can both climb back up. So this was probably a good time for Sarah, who wasn't long for the competition anyway, got to stay in for a few episodes, get some experience. But then it's like you've made a pencil dress and a skirt 3 times, so you're kind of out. You're out.
Yes, for sure.
So I think we both were in agreement on Sarah for sure. And it was the top 2, I think, either way would be good choices. Both unique. I agree, Alex's was really cool. So any final thoughts for this episode?
I don't think so. Swimwear is just not my favorite. So none of these were that memorable to me, like, to be honest. Yeah. I'm just like, nah. Swimsuits, big whoop. Yeah, because it's all generally like the same shape. Like,
yeah, they were all mostly bikinis.
Yeah, like it's just the same thing over and over, just different patterns.
Right.
I don't know. It just doesn't interest me as much when compared to the other challenges.
I think it's definitely harder to push, like, the fashion, like, the high brow fashion element when you have, like, 4 inches of fabric to work with. So I agree. It's not my favorite. And then it's harder to style them as well. It's like, she's going to the swim. Like, what are you going to do with your hair? Like, put in a big top knot, you know, maybe some waterproof mascara. But So we did get a sneak peek of next week, and it looks like it's going to be our first team challenge because they are just shoving these theme things right in there. And team challenges are always great, especially the first one, because you really get a lot of drama in the workroom. And while I like this show mostly for the fashion part and the artistic part, a little bit of the drama is fun every once in a while. And I think we saw 4 different people, maybe more, cry in the little preview for the next episode. So it could be brutal.
It could be.
And I don't know what they'll be making. We didn't really get a good idea of, like, what the sponsor is or what they'll be making or how many people will be in the teams. Like, if it's partner teams, I'm guessing it'll be 3 to 4 per team. It's hard to say. Is it going to be a paintball challenge again where you got to run again? And we get to watch the people, like, be conscientious, like, oh, I'm not going to be part of that. So we'll see. But that'll be episode 5. But this was it for season 15, episode 4.
Yep.
Still trucking, still good. We still enjoying it. And now we're getting to see more of, like, some of the less designers. Or less seen designers, I should say. Because early on, it was just so much, like, Cornelius, Dexter, Aaron, Cornelius, Dexter, Aaron. And now we're finally getting to be like, oh, wait, here's Brick, here's Tasha again. Remember all these people? You know, so that's good.
Yep.
Boys, I think that's it for us this week.
I think so.
So you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Rav Runway. We're trying, you know, little by little. And we're also probably soon to be on YouTube instead of SoundCloud, but we'll see how that goes. Maybe both. But yeah, that's us. So we'll see you next week.
Yep.